Healing from your bad relationship with your disrespectful mother. A personal journey. Ask yourself, what ideas do you have of what a mother is supposed to be? Is she supposed to be perfect and not make mistakes? That would be unrealistic. Was she supposed to act, talk, and look like other mothers? Are you not allowing her to be who the fuck she is? Are you not accepting that she chooses to be disrespectful every day and not be what you need in a mother? Do you think you can make choices different from what your beliefs, ideas, and culture tell you? I wanted my mother to focus on us. She was focused on her extended family. She was the type of mother to juggle several responsibilities, but got it done and didn't appear like she was stressed. But she was. She was overwhelmed. She was authoritative, hands off, party, and bossy. I wanted her to work when she wanted to be at home. I wanted her to ask me if I wanted to help her cook instead of tell me to help her cook and do things that I just didn't feel like doing. Like kids do. I wanted her to help us clean instead of me feeling like I was just cleaning up after her. And I wanted her to spend time with us instead of being so focused on her extended family. But I understood that they had a lot going on. But that doesn't mean that I didn't deserve time and attention from my mother. Do you accept her for who she is? What is it about your mother that you don't like? I wanted my mother to grow the fuck up. She acted like a child. She was scheming, scamming, arguing, not doing what other mothers were doing in my eyes. But she did hold down the house, make sure we had a meal, and got her business done before she partied. So I will give her that. I just knew that the drugs took over her life. I would see her happy, healthy, doing good, and then she would start doing drugs, and it was a complete opposite. And then she would turn into a terrible person. I knew she could be a better mother because I seen it. As a little girl, my mother was Superwoman, and I wanted to be just like her. Not Harley Quinn. I never accepted her for who she became. I wanted the mother that I knew. Do you have an idea of what your mother is supposed to act like? I just wanted my mother to follow the rules. Just be good. Not argue with everybody all the time. Not start shit. I just wanted her to just calm down and stop so much attention being on us. Because I was not trying to be seen at all. I wanted her to be like the mother I tried to be. Supportive, loving, and caring. She was not. Are you holding on to the good times before her personality changed? I had this idea of when I was 7, when she was the happiest, the healthiest, and she was married to a great man. I knew she could be a good mother. Why do you want to change her into a better person? So she could be a better person for me. Take care of herself. Spend more time with me and my brother. And be affectionate. I knew she could be a better person. She just chose not to be one. Why do you feel like your mother's behavior will make you look bad? I felt like when my mother was acting up, all the attention was on us all the time. And I didn't like the attention. So for me, it did make me look bad as a child. And I thought nobody else had a mother like mine. I thought I was the only one who had a chaotic mother. What are your ideas of what a relationship with a mother should be and look like? I just wanted to not argue with my mother all the time. For her to support me, care for me, love me, to have my back. That's all I wanted. For her to have self-control, not be in trouble all the time. Maybe she could try to understand that I was different than her. Do you believe you are supposed to have a relationship with your mother no matter how she treats you? I did. I believe that I just had to get better at dealing with her because she was my mother and I loved her. So that meant that I had to deal with her. Most people assume that mothers are emotionally stable, want to have children, and are caregivers. People assume mothers love their children and treat them with respect. Some mothers are traumatized. This video is for people who have disrespectful mothers and have a bad relationship. This is not for people who are disrespectful to their loving mother. Most people want their mothers to stop being disrespectful. The reality is, that's who she is. And you have to decide whether you're going to allow her to disrespect you because she is your mother, or you're going to stop allowing her to disrespect you. If you have a disrespectful mother, she may act like this. Constant criticism, judging, controlling behavior, guilt-tripping, manipulating, humiliation. Doesn't care about your feelings, passive-aggressive, disrespectful of your boundaries. Oh my God. She is a taker and hardly gives. This is my story. My name is Sharitha, and I healed from my chaotic relationship with my mother. In my video, I'm going to talk about how I stood up to my mother and healed myself so that I could eventually heal from my bad relationship with her. I'm going to tell you a little background about my mother. Her mother started having kids at 14. She had 4 by the time she was 21. My mother was born on the south side of Chicago, and her oldest brother died at a young age. Her father was an alcoholic And she told me that if she wanted to talk to her father, she could just go to the liquor store and he would be outside begging for money. My mother started doing crack when I was 3 years old, and a year later, my parents were divorced. In my family, we've had a history of difficult relationships with our mothers across generations. Take a look at how the mothers in your families have related to their daughters over the years. Step 1. Standing up against your mother and creating boundaries. If your mother respected you, you wouldn't have to stand up to her. Why? Because disrespectful mothers disrespect personal boundaries. They think they can do whatever they want until you stop them. My mother helped me with my children and tried to control me. She didn't like my relationship and called me stupid bitches, put me down, criticized me, and judged me. My mother and my boyfriend at that time argued all the time, leaving me feeling stuck in the middle of both of them. They talked shit about each other. Both were trying to use and emotionally abuse me. My mother and I argued all the time. I would tell her how terrible of a mother she was all the time. I told her for about 10 years because I wanted her to know that she was bogus. And one day I said, maybe she just not gonna ever admit that she was a bad parent. And I let it go. She would try to emotionally abuse me. I started to say no and create some boundaries. I got tired of her stuff. When she got out of hand, I would stop talking to her, stopped her from seeing my kids, went no contact until I needed her or she would come over. It did change her behavior. Through counseling, I learned how to tell her how I felt. I told her what behaviors I did not like. I use I feel statements. When you use I feel statements, say, I feel hurt when you are criticizing me. I feel sad when it seems like my feelings are not taken seriously. I feel like you're disrespectful when you blank whatever they doing, because there's always something. If you say that and they still disrespectful, go no contact on them. If you are hiding, ignoring, or trying to be non-confrontational, you have lost the battle. That's what they like. Think about bullies. They don't stop until you stand up. And that's disrespectful mothers. You cannot be non-confrontational with a disrespectful mother. They are not aggressive with people who stand up. But I'm sorry to tell you, they don't stop being disrespectful. They just become sneakier. You either got to stand up for yourself or not talk at all. Sometimes non-contact works and they think about their behavior. Hiding and ignoring is passive aggressive. Non-contact is, I told you I don't like you disrespecting me and I'm done with you. It lets them know that every time they are disrespectful, you are not going to talk to them. And you may not talk to them ever again. Oh well. I was arguing because I wasn't going to let my mother talk crazy to me, rule my life, and disrespect me. No one deserves to be disrespectful. If you argue with your mother, the ugly truth is some part of us likes to argue with our mothers because it is a habit. Step 2, realizing that you need to change. I felt I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I was going to work. I was taking care of my kids. I was going to school. I was paying my bills. I was like, what? Ain't nothing wrong with me? What you talking about? My mama crazy. I started counseling and taking mental health medications. I went to counseling to change my mother, not me, so we could have a better relationship. Not realizing that I was the problem because I was allowing my mother to treat me a certain way. I wanted to fit in with everybody else who I had perceived had a good relationship with their mothers instead of what was best for me. At that time, I thought you're supposed to get along with your parents. And if you can't, something's wrong with you. So I was going to make it work. My mother was on drugs and liked to party. And that's who she was. I wanted to be supportive of my mother, but she wasn't to me. You may feel like you have to care for her, and she doesn't take care of you. I was worried about my mother more than she was about herself. Your mother may have made you feel emotionally dependent on her. I couldn't make a decision without her input. You may feel like you can't either. I had to tell her everything that was happening in my life. If you tell your mother all your business, stop. I didn't realize the control she had over me, and that's only because I was telling her all my business. That is how she controls and manipulates you. Step 3, forgiveness. As I heal with lots of counseling, learning about DBT, CBT, boundaries, mindfulness, to name a few, I started to realize that I can't change my disrespectful mother. I can only accept her for who she was and deal with her as someone who is always going to be disrespectful, drinking, or on a drug, who never is going to have enough money and need to borrow money every month. When she started to notice that I was seeing her for who she was, she didn't like it because I saw straight through her BS before it happened. When she was disrespectful, I called her on it the minute it happened. Every single time. I didn't argue. I just said, I don't like what you did, whatever it was. And that was it. I started to realize that my mother was never going to be the mother that I wanted. That she was always going to be a disrespectful party mama. She knew that I was on to her tricks, lies, playing dumb, manipulation, gaslighting, and BS. And the last time we lived together, it seemed like she was always had a slick, backhanded, smart mouth comment. I didn't understand where it was coming from. I confronted her, and she acted like she was dumb. I knew she knew exactly what she was doing. You will never love me like I wanted to be loved. That's when I knew that when she moved out, our relationship was not going to be the same. When she moved out, I stopped talking to her. I didn't go to her house much. And that was the beginning of the end. And it hurt bad because I missed all of the laughing, talking shit, jokes, and the good food. I realized how much I depended on her emotionally and that we were toxic bonding. When I disappeared, I started to realize how disrespectful I allowed her to be for the love I thought I was getting. She had been so disrespectful, and I just didn't want to not have a relationship with my mother. But in reality, I didn't let anybody treat me the way she treated me, and that meant I didn't like the way that she was treating me. I loved her dearly. I love her dearly, and had an idea that she would be this 7-year-old mother that I remembered when she was recovering from drugs and married to a nice man. It took me 33 years to realize that she would never be the mother I had hoped. After realizing how disrespectful she was, I was furious. To heal myself, I had to forgive my mother for everything she did to me. I started seeing her as being traumatized just like me. I don't know anything about my mother. I only know what she tells me, and it ain't much. I had to forgive everything she did, but not forget. But see her as a traumatized person too. I don't know what she went through and why she made the choices she chose in her life. She chose the narcissistic path, and I chose the healing path. I called her one day to see and what, hold on. And what she said made me see my mother emotionally as me. Not like the a-hole I had saw my whole life. She said, I felt like I was the only one who cared, and I needed to help my mother. And I have felt like I have been the only one who cared my whole life. And in that moment, I didn't see us as different. We just picked different paths. Ask yourself again, do I accept my mother for who she is, the beautiful mess that she is, and choose to deal with her accordingly? My mother is not going to grow up. I accept her for who she is and choose not to deal with her. Do I have what a mother is supposed to look and act like? I have accepted my mother doesn't act like that. She is a party mom, and she has good qualities too. Am I holding on to the good times before her personality change? I let go of the mother I still hoped and dreamed for. She let it go a long time ago. Do I want to change her into a better person? To me. And what I am going to do with and now what am I going to do with this information? Accept that she doesn't want to be a better person. She is not going to spend time with me without disrespecting me. She is not affectionate. And yes, she can choose to be a better mother, but she does not. Why do I feel like my mother's behavior will make me look bad? Accepting her behavior does look bad, but she has no shame. Her behavior does not make you look bad. She is a grown ass adult. Other people have mothers just like you. What are my ideas of what a relationship with my mother should look like and be like? My mother doesn't want a less chaotic relationship because I have tried a lot. She has no self-control because she is still doing the same thing she was doing when I was a child. My mother is traumatized, and our relationship is not going to look like other people's relationships ever. Healing from your bad relationship with your disrespectful mother is about healing yourself. I wanted to heal my mother, but I ended up going against what everyone else thought a mother-daughter relationship should be to heal me. It is about accepting your mother for who she is. She may not give you closure, and accepting in the end, you may not have a relationship with your mother, and that's okay. Fuck what everybody else thinks. You got to do what's best for you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more empowerment. Thank you.